Welcome back to our channel and thank you for joining us. Our first destination spot is the Canadian Rocky Mountains. If you are looking for a scenic and adventurous vacation, this might be the perfect place for you to visit. Located on the border of BC and Alberta, the mountain range extends from the US border towards the north for about 900 miles. This is a region of stunning natural beauty, where you can explore 5 national parks including Banff and Jasper, and numerous provincial parks including Mount Robson and Mount Assiniboine. Each park has its own attractions, such as Lake Louise, Moraine Lake, Icefields Parkway, Athabasca Glacier, Emerald Lake, and Takakar Falls to name a few. You can enjoy various activities in the Rockies, such as hiking, biking, kayaking, wildlife watching, skiing, and snowshoeing. You can also visit some of the charming towns in the area, such as Banff, Jasper, Canmore, and Lake Louise. The cost of a vacation in the Canadian Rockies depends on several factors, such as the season, the type of accommodation, the transportation, and the activities you choose. You can find a range of accommodation options in the Rockies, from luxury hotels and resorts to budget motels and hostels. The cost of hotels and motels in popular places like Jasper, Banff, and Canmore are expensive, and for lower-cost hotels you will need to consider some other locations like Radium Hot Springs, Valemount, and Golden. A 2-star hotel in these less traveled areas will cost on average about $200 per night for 2 people. You can take day trips to see the more popular areas as you desire. You can also camp in designated campgrounds for a lower fee or stay at hostels if that is your preference. A meal at a restaurant will cost between $17 and $45. For transportation, you can either rent a car for approximately $110 per day plus gas or use public buses and shuttles. You can also take a train or a guided tour to see the highlights of the Rockies. Some activities are free or low cost, such as hiking or biking on trails. Others require a fee or a reservation, such as kayaking on lakes or visiting attractions like hot springs or museums. You should also be aware that you will need a park pass to visit national parks, which will cost between $10 and $20 per day depending on whether you are traveling solo or with family. The estimated cost of a mid-level 1-week vacation for 2 people will come to around $3,600, excluding airfare. This assumes staying at 2-star hotels, a car rental for transportation, a combined restaurant and grocery meal plan, and allowance for sightseeing expenses. Here are some tips, hints, and concerns to consider. First, plan well in advance and book your accommodation and activities ahead of time. You will be pressed to see everything you want in a limited time, and booking times can be longer during peak seasons. Second, you will need layers of clothing, rain gear, sunscreen, and insect repellent for any outdoor activities. Third, respect the wildlife and keep a safe distance from animals like bears, elk, moose, and wolves. Do not feed or approach them and follow the park rules and regulations. If you're hiking, you should carry bear spray and understand how to avoid negative bear encounters. Fourth, be aware of the altitude and stay hydrated. The Rockies are at a high elevation and you might experience some symptoms of altitude sickness, such as headache, nausea, or fatigue. Fifth, be aware that some areas like Moraine Lake only allow bus traffic, and other areas like Lake Louise have limited vehicle parking, making bus transport a more desirable option. Consider your destination's transportation requirements when planning your trip. In summary, the Canadian Rocky Mountains are a wonderful place to vacation to if you love nature and adventure. A vacation in the Rockies will surely leave you with lasting memories. Our second budget-friendly location to see in Canada is Quebec City, Quebec. This charming city is the capital of the province of Quebec and one of the oldest cities in North America. It is located in eastern Canada on the north shore of the St. Lawrence River where it meets the Rivière St. Charles. Quebec City has a rich history, culture, and architecture that reflect its French heritage and influence. It offers many attractions and activities for visitors of all ages and interests. You can explore the historic Old Quebec, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, where you can see the famous Chateau Frontenac, which is the most photographed hotel in the world, the Citadel, which is the largest British-built fortress in North America, and the Plains of Abraham, which is a historic 1759 battlefield site, now converted into a park, and used by some 4 million visitors each year. You can visit Petit Champlain, which is a charming pedestrian street known for its concentration of art galleries and fine bistros. Or you can enjoy the lively nightlife, festivals, and cuisine of the city, which are influenced by both French and Canadian traditions. If you are more adventurous, you can also take advantage of the natural beauty and outdoor recreation opportunities around Quebec City. You can visit the Montmorency Falls, the highest waterfall in the province, or the Isle d'Orléans, an island with scenic views and local products. You can also go skiing, snowshoeing, or ice skating in the nearby mountains and parks. The costs of visiting Quebec City vary depending on the season, the type of accommodation, and the activities you choose. However, you can expect to pay around $180 per night on average for a double-occupancy 3-star hotel, and around $25 to $55 per person for a meal at a restaurant. You can also save money by taking advantage of discounts, packages, and free attractions that are available throughout the year. The estimated cost of a mid-level 1-week vacation for 2 people will come to around $2,600, excluding airfare. This assumes staying at 3-star hotels, use of public transportation, a combined restaurant and grocery meal plan, and allowance for sightseeing expenses. Some tips and hints to make your trip more enjoyable are: first, learn some basic French phrases or bring a translation app, as many people in Quebec City speak French as their first language. Second, dress appropriately for the weather, as Quebec City can have cold winters and hot summers. Third, check the local events calendar before you go, as there might be some festivals or celebrations that you don't want to miss. Fourth, book at least 6 months in advance if you are planning on visiting during popular festivals or the Christmas break. Fifth, book a guided walking tour if you plan to explore Old Quebec, as this is the best way to see it. Sixth, take the Quebec City Levi's ferry on the St. Lawrence River for a unique perspective of the city. Seventh, visit the Observatoire de la Capitale, which is the highest viewpoint in the city, to get your bearings and take in the view. Some concerns to look out for are: first, be careful when driving or walking in the city, as some roads and sidewalks can be narrow, steep, or slippery. Second, be respectful of the culture and customs of Quebec City, as some people might be sensitive about their identity and politics. In summary, Quebec City is a wonderful place to experience history, European charm, natural beauty and cultural richness. You will be greatly rewarded for the time you spend in Quebec City. Next on our list is Prince Edward Island, which is Canada's smallest province, situated in the Gulf of St. Lawrence, west of Cape Breton Island, and north of Nova Scotia. It is separated from the mainland by the Northumberland Strait and is connected to New Brunswick by the 8-mile-long Confederation Bridge. This island province is famous for its red sand beaches, green hills, and charming villages. You can enjoy a variety of activities, such as hiking, biking, kayaking, golfing, or visiting historical sites and museums such as the Wood Island Lighthouse and Museum. You can explore the literary legacy of Lucy Maud Montgomery, the author of Anne of Green Gables, and see the places that inspired her novels. You can visit Sandspit Amusement Park, which is Atlantic Canada's classic amusement park with a variety of rides and activities for all ages. Or you may prefer to visit Avonlea Village, which hosts a collection of eclectic shops and eateries in a beautiful heritage setting. If art is more your interest, take time to enjoy the Confederation Centre of the Arts, which is a cultural area dedicated to the arts and is located in Charlottetown. Prince Edward Island is not very expensive to visit, compared to other popular destinations. A 3-star hotel averages $180 per night for 2, but there are more affordable options such as motels and bed and breakfasts if that is your preference. The cost of a meal at a restaurant is typically between $25 to $40 per person, but you can also save money by cooking your own meals or eating at local diners and pubs. Other expenses include transportation, which can be done by car, bus, or ferry. The average cost of a car rental is about $140 per day plus gas. The estimated cost of a mid-level 1-week vacation for 2 people will come to around $3,600, excluding airfare. This assumes staying at 3-star hotels, car rental for transportation, a combined restaurant and grocery meal plan, and allowance for sightseeing expenses. Some tips and hints to make your vacation more enjoyable are: first, plan your trip in advance and book your accommodations and activities online. You can find many deals and discounts on the official tourism website of Prince Edward Island. Second, rent a car or bring your own if you want to explore the island at your own pace. The island is small and easy to navigate, but public transportation is limited and infrequent. Third, pack layers of clothing and sunscreen, as the weather can be unpredictable and change quickly. The summer months are warm and sunny, but the evenings can be cool. Fourth, be respectful of the environment and the local culture. Prince Edward Island is known for its friendly and hospitable people, who value their heritage and traditions. Do not litter or disturb the wildlife, and follow the rules and regulations of the parks and attractions. Whether you visit PEI for the outdoors, the seafood, the history and literature, or the family entertainment, there is no doubt you will have fun and relax. Our fourth budget-friendly recommendation to visit in Canada is the Niagara Falls, which is a group of 3 waterfalls located at the southern end of Niagara Gorge, spanning the border between the province of Ontario in Canada and the state of New York in the United States. This is a popular destination for tourists who want to enjoy the natural beauty and the thrilling attractions of the falls. You can view the falls from various vantage points, such as the observation deck of the Skylon Tower, which is a 775-foot-high observation tower, the Niagara Sky Wheel, which is a 175-foot-high Ferris wheel, or the Journey Behind the Falls, which is an exploration through 130-year-old tunnels in the bedrock of the falls, leading to an observation deck. You can also get closer to the falls by taking a boat ride on the Hornblower Niagara Cruises, or by ziplining across in a thrilling ride which suspends you 220 feet above the gorge. Another reason to visit Niagara Falls is to experience the many attractions and activities that are available in the area. You can explore the Clifton Hill District, which has a variety of entertainment options, such as museums, arcades, haunted houses, and wax museums. You can also visit the Niagara Parks Botanical Gardens, which has over 40 hectares of gardens and a butterfly conservatory, or you can visit Marineland, featuring marine animal shows, land animal exhibits, and amusement rides. If you are feeling adventurous, you can also try some of the outdoor activities, such as hiking, biking, golfing, or fishing. Niagara Falls is a good place to visit if you are looking for an affordable vacation. A 3-star hotel costs on average $190 per night for 2, but you can also find hotels and motels from $100 per night, and even cheaper bed and breakfasts and campgrounds. You can also find many restaurants and cafes that offer a variety of cuisines for about $25 to $45 per meal. Besides accommodation and meals, you should also budget for transportation and admission fees for some of the attractions. The estimated cost of a mid-level 1-week vacation for 2 people will come to around $2,700, excluding airfare. This assumes staying at 3-star hotels, use of public transportation, a combined restaurant and grocery meal plan, and allowance for sightseeing expenses. Some tips and hints that you should be aware of when visiting Niagara Falls. First, the best time to visit Niagara Falls is from June to September, when the weather is warm and sunny, and the water flow is at its peak. Second, you should wear comfortable shoes and clothes that can get wet if you plan to get close to the falls or take a boat ride. Third, you should book your accommodation and attractions in advance, especially during peak season, to avoid disappointment and save money. Fourth, parking near the falls can be limited and expensive, so it's important to plan ahead. Consider using public transportation or booking a hotel with free parking. Some concerns that you should look out for when visiting Niagara Falls. First, the crowds and traffic can be very busy during peak season, so you should plan your itinerary carefully and avoid peak hours. Second, the falls can be very loud and misty, so you should protect your ears and eyes with earplugs and sunglasses. Third, the falls can also create strong winds and currents, so you should be careful when walking near the edge or taking a boat ride. Niagara Falls is a wonderful place to visit for anyone who loves adventure and entertainment. It will leave you with unforgettable memories. For our fifth recommendation, we go to Edmonton, which is the capital city of Alberta, and the 5th largest city in Canada. It is situated on the North Saskatchewan River, near the geographic centre of the province. Edmonton is known as the Festival City, because it hosts over 50 festivals every year, celebrating arts, culture, music, sports, and more. Edmonton is also home to the largest mall in North America, the West Edmonton Mall, which has over 800 stores, 100 restaurants, a water park, an amusement park, a skating rink, a casino, and a hotel. Edmonton has something for everyone, whether you are interested in history, nature, or entertainment. You can visit the Royal Alberta Museum, which showcases the province's natural and human history, or the Art Gallery of Alberta, which features contemporary and historical art from Alberta and around the world. You can also explore the Edmonton Valley Zoo, which houses over 350 animals from different habitats and regions. If you are feeling adventurous, you can take a day trip to Elk Island National Park, which is only 35 kilometers east of Edmonton. There you can see bison, elk, moose, deer, and other wildlife in their natural environment. You can also hike, bike, canoe, or camp in the park. If plants are more your thing, you can visit the Muttett Conservatory, which is one of Canada's largest indoor botanical collections, housed in 4 glass pyramids, each with a different theme. Edmonton is also a good place to visit if you are on a tight budget. You can find affordable accommodation options in the city centre or near the airport for $110 for a double-occupancy 3-star hotel. You can also enjoy many free or low-cost attractions and events in the city. For example, you can stroll along the River Valley Trails, which span over 160 kilometers and offer scenic views of the city and nature. You can also visit the Alberta Legislature Building, which offers free guided tours and hosts various cultural performances throughout the year. You can also check out the farmers markets, where you can buy fresh produce, baked goods, crafts, and more from local vendors. A meal at a restaurant will typically cost between $15 to $30, and a car rental will cost about $90 per day. The estimated cost of a mid-level 1-week vacation for 2 people will come to around $2,500, excluding airfare. This assumes staying at 3-star hotels, transportation by car rental, a combined restaurant and grocery meal plan, and allowance for sightseeing expenses. Some tips and hints for visiting Edmonton. First, the best time to visit Edmonton is from June to August, when the weather is warm and sunny, and most festivals take place. However, be prepared for some rain showers and thunderstorms during this season. Second, if you are visiting Edmonton in winter, make sure to pack warm clothing and accessories. The average temperature in January is -11 degrees Celsius or 12 degrees Fahrenheit, but it can drop as low as -40 degrees Celsius or -40 degrees Fahrenheit and even lower with the wind chill. However, winter also offers some unique activities such as ice skating, snowshoeing, sledding, and skiing. Third, if you are using public transportation in Edmonton, you can buy a transit pass or tickets from vending machines or convenience stores. You can also use the ETS Trip Planner app or website to plan your routes and schedules. One potential concern to look out for when visiting Edmonton is wildfires, as they are a serious environmental and public health issue in Canada, especially in the western provinces. If you are planning to visit Edmonton, you should be aware of the potential risks and impacts of wildfires on your travel plans and activities. Check the air quality index before and during your trip, follow fire bans and restrictions as many are started by human activities, and have an emergency plan and kit ready in case you are forced to leave your accommodation. In summary, Edmonton offers a variety of attractions and activities for tourists. Whether you are looking for culture, nature, or adventure, Edmonton has something just for you. Let's move on to our 6th budget-friendly vacation, where we find Halifax, Nova Scotia. Halifax is the capital city of Nova Scotia, and is located on the east coast of the Atlantic province just east of Prince Edward Island and New Brunswick. If you're looking for a Canadian vacation spot offering a rich history, culture, and natural beauty, Halifax may be just what you need. Here are some reasons why Halifax is a good place to vacation to, and what you can do and see while you are there. One of the main attractions of Halifax is its waterfront, which stretches for 4 kilometers along the harbour. You can stroll along the boardwalk, enjoy the views of the ocean and the ships, visit the Maritime Museum of the Atlantic, or take a ferry ride to Dartmouth. You can also sample some of the local seafood, such as lobster, scallops, or fish and chips, at one of the many restaurants and pubs along the water. Another highlight of Halifax is its historical and cultural heritage. You can learn about the city's role in the Titanic disaster, the Halifax explosion, and the World Wars at various museums and monuments. You can also explore the Citadel, a star-shaped fort that dates back to 1749 and offers panoramic views of the city. If you are interested in art, you can visit the Art Gallery of Nova Scotia, which features works by local and international artists. Halifax also offers plenty of outdoor activities and adventures for nature lovers. You can hike, bike, or kayak at Point Pleasant Park, a large green space at the southern tip of the peninsula. You can also visit Peggy's Cove, a fishing community with an iconic lighthouse, picturesque landscape, rich maritime history, and outdoor activities. Or you can take a day trip to Lunenburg, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that boasts colorful buildings and a maritime museum. And finally, if you have time, it is worth taking a trip to explore the Cabot Trail on the north end of the island, which includes 186 miles of scenic beauty that boasts rivers, valleys, coastal views of the ocean, fishing villages, hiking, golfing, whale watching, camping, beaches, and so much more. The costs of vacationing in Halifax depend on your preferences and budget. You can find a range of accommodation options, from hotels and motels to bed and breakfasts and hostels. The price of a hotel room in Halifax is a bit more expensive than other locations on our list, with an average cost of $200 per night for a 2-star double occupancy hotel, but you can find cheaper options depending on the location, season, and amenities. The average cost of a meal in a restaurant is between $17 and $40 per person. You can also save money by cooking your own meals or buying groceries at local markets. Other expenses include transportation, entertainment, and souvenirs. You can use public transit, such as buses and ferries, to get around the city for a low fare. You can also rent a car for approximately $120 per day, to allow for day trips to other parts of the island. Some attractions are free or have low admission fees, while others charge more. You can also find some deals and discounts online or at tourist information centers. The estimated cost of a mid-level one-week vacation for 2 people will come to around $3,400, excluding airfare. This assumes staying at 2-star hotels, a car rental for day trips, a combined restaurant and grocery meal plan, and allowance for sightseeing expenses. Some tips and hints for vacationing in Halifax. First, the best time to visit Halifax is from May to October, when the weather is mild and pleasant, and there are many festivals and events happening in the city. Second, the official language spoken in Halifax is English, but you may also hear some French or other languages spoken by immigrants and tourists. Most people are friendly and helpful, and will try to accommodate your needs. Third, try cooking your own lobster for an authentic Nova Scotian experience. One noteworthy concern to be mindful of while in Nova Scotia are the ticks, which can cause Lyme disease. If you are entering grassy or wooded areas, take precautions such as wearing appropriate clothing, using insect repellent, checking for ticks, and then showering after outdoor activities. Halifax is a wonderful place to visit for anyone who enjoys history, culture, nature, and seafood. It has something for everyone, and it will leave you with lasting memories and impressions. Our 7th budget-friendly Canadian recommendation is a trip to Newfoundland and Labrador. Although separate landmasses divided by the Gulf of St. Lawrence, Newfoundland and Labrador is a single Canadian province and is the easternmost province located in the Atlantic region of Canada. If you are looking for a unique and memorable vacation destination, Newfoundland and Labrador may be the perfect destination for you. This province offers a variety of attractions and activities for visitors of all ages and interests. Newfoundland and Labrador is known for its natural beauty and rich culture. You can explore the rugged coastline, the scenic fjords, the icebergs, the whales, and the wildlife. You can also learn about the history and heritage of the province, from the indigenous peoples to the Vikings, from the fishing villages to the capital city of St. John's. You can enjoy the music, the art, the cuisine, and the hospitality of the locals. Some of the specific sites and activities that you can enjoy in Newfoundland and Labrador include visiting Gros Morne National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that features stunning landscapes, hiking trails, boat tours, and wildlife viewing. Another activity to consider is taking a ferry to Fogo Island, a remote and charming island that has a thriving arts community, cozy inns, and spectacular views. You can also consider exploring Lanso Meadows National Historic Site, where you can see the remains of a Viking settlement from over 1,000 years ago. Or if your interest is nature and wildlife, you can go whale watching or viewing of other sea creatures such as dolphins, seals, and seabirds from a boat or a kayak, or even from the shore. You can also go hiking along the East Coast Trail, a 336-kilometer trail that follows the coast of the Avalon Peninsula, passing through picturesque towns, lighthouses, cliffs, and coves. You may also want to experience the nightlife, the culture, and the history of St. John's, the oldest city in North America. And finally, you will want to experience the local cuisine by sampling some of the local delicacies, such as cod tongues, fish and brewis, croutons, bake apples, and partridge berry jam. The costs for hotels, motels, restaurants, and other expenses in Newfoundland and Labrador vary depending on the season, the location, and the quality. However, you can expect to pay around $165 per night for 2 people at a 3-star hotel, and $17 to $40 per person for a meal at a restaurant. You will also need to factor in the costs of transportation, entrance fees, such as national parks, and activities such as whale watching tours. The cost of a car rental is approximately $150 per day. The estimated cost of a mid-level 1-week vacation for 2 people will come to around $3,400, excluding airfare. This assumes staying at 3-star hotels, transportation by car rental, a combined restaurant and grocery meal plan, and allowance for sightseeing expenses. Some tips and hints that you should be aware of when planning your vacation to Newfoundland and Labrador. First, the weather can be unpredictable and change quickly. You should pack layers of clothing that can keep you warm and dry in any conditions. Second, the distances between places can be long. You should plan your itinerary carefully and allow enough time for driving or taking ferries. Third, the peak season is from June to September. You should book your accommodations and activities in advance to avoid disappointment. Fourth, the off-season is from October to May. You can find lower prices and fewer crowds, but some attractions and services may be closed or limited. Some concerns that you should look out for when traveling to Newfoundland and Labrador are: first, the roads can be rough and winding. You should drive carefully and watch out for wildlife crossing. Second, the cell phone coverage can be spotty or non-existent in some areas. You should have a backup plan for communication or navigation. Third, the mosquitoes and black flies can be annoying or even dangerous. You should wear insect repellent and protective clothing. Newfoundland and Labrador is a wonderful place to visit for anyone who loves nature, culture, adventure, or relaxation. It is a place where you can experience something new every day. Our next budget-friendly Canadian destination to consider is Montreal. Montreal is an island city of the St. Lawrence River in the province of Quebec. It is located in the southwestern part of the province, approximately 170 miles southwest of Quebec City and 100 miles east of Ottawa, Ontario. If you are looking for a fun and exciting vacation destination in Canada, you definitely want to consider Montreal. Montreal is the largest city in the province of Quebec and the second largest in Canada. It is a vibrant and multicultural city that offers a variety of attractions and activities for visitors of all ages and interests. Montreal is famous for its rich history, culture, and architecture. You can explore the Old Montreal district, where you can see the Notre Dame Basilica, which is a church built in 1829 and is known for its impressive architecture and stained glass windows, the Place Jacques Cartier, which is a town square known for its lively atmosphere and heritage, and the Bon Secours Market, which is a 2-story domed public market, recognized as one of the 10 most beautiful heritage buildings in Canada. You can also visit the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts, the Montreal Botanical Garden, and the Biodome, where you can see different ecosystems and animals. If you are looking for some adventure, you can try some of the outdoor activities that Montreal has to offer. You can go hiking, biking, or kayaking on Mount Royal, the large hill that overlooks the city. You can also enjoy some winter sports like skiing, snowboarding, or ice skating at one of the many parks or slopes around the city. Montreal is also a great place to enjoy some delicious food and nightlife. You can sample some of the local specialties like poutine, smoked meat, and bagels. Or, you can try some of the ethnic cuisines that reflect the diversity of the city, such as French, Italian, Greek, Lebanese, and Chinese. You can also find some of the best bars, clubs, and festivals in Montreal, where you can dance, listen to music, or watch some comedy shows. The costs of visiting Montreal vary depending on your preferences and budget. You can find some affordable hotels or motels in the downtown area or near the airport. You can also look for some Airbnb options or hostels if you want to save some money. The cost of a 3-star hotel in Montreal is between $150 to $210 per night for double occupancy. The average price of a meal in a restaurant is $20 to $45 per person. You can also use public transportation or rent a bike to get around the city. The average price of a one-way ticket on the metro or bus is just under $4. The estimated cost of a mid-level one-week vacation for 2 people will come to around $2,500, excluding airfare. This assumes staying at 3-star hotels, use of public transportation, a combined restaurant and grocery meal plan, and allowance for sightseeing expenses. There are some tips and hints that you should be aware of when visiting Montreal. First, Montreal is a bilingual city, where both English and French are spoken. However, French is more dominant and widely used, especially in signs and announcements. You might want to learn some basic French phrases or use a translation app to communicate with locals. Second, Montreal has 4 distinct seasons, with hot summers and cold winters. You should pack accordingly and check the weather forecast before your trip. Some concerns you should be aware of. First, Montreal has some areas that are less safe or clean than others. You should avoid walking alone at night or in unfamiliar places. You should also be careful of pickpockets or scammers in crowded areas or tourist spots. Second, there are some traffic and parking issues, especially during rush hours or events. You should plan ahead and leave enough time for your travel. Montreal is a wonderful city that has something for everyone. It is a good place to vacation to as it offers a unique experience of history, culture, and entertainment that you will not forget. Let's now go to our 9th recommendation for a budget-friendly Canadian vacation where we find Vancouver Island. Located off the west coast of Canada, the island is part of the province of British Columbia. If you're looking to experience the West Coast lifestyle, natural beauty, wildlife, and cultural richness, Vancouver Island may be the perfect vacation for you. One of the main attractions of Vancouver Island is its stunning coastline, which features sandy beaches, rocky cliffs, and lush forests. You can enjoy the views of the ocean and the mountains from many vantage points, or explore the water by kayaking, surfing, or whale watching. You can also visit some of the charming towns and villages along the coast, such as Tofino and Ucluelet, which are located on the far west side of the island, or the more populated Victoria, to the south of the island, and the capital city of British Columbia. These places offer a mix of scenic beauty, history, culture, and cuisine, as well as local shops and galleries. Another reason to visit Vancouver Island is its diverse wildlife and nature. The island is home to many species of birds, mammals, and marine life, such as bald eagles, black bears, sea lions, and orcas. You can observe these animals in their natural habitats, or visit some of the wildlife sanctuaries and parks on the island. For example, you can check out the Pacific Rim National Park Reserve, which covers a large area of rainforest and coastline. You can also hike some of the trails in the park, or camp at one of the sites. If gardens and plants are more your interest, you will want to visit the Butchart Gardens, which were originally created in 1904, and today spread over 55 acres, featuring several themed gardens such as rose gardens, Japanese gardens, Italian and Mediterranean gardens. The cost of vacationing on Vancouver Island depends on your preferences and budget. You can find a range of accommodation options, from luxury hotels and resorts to cozy bed and breakfasts and motels. The average price for a 3-star double occupancy hotel room on the island is around $150 per night, but you can also find cheaper or more expensive options depending on the location and amenities. You can also save money by booking in advance or during off-season periods. The same goes for restaurants and other expenses. You can find a variety of dining options on the island, from fine dining to casual cafes and pubs. The cost for a meal at a restaurant is typically between $20 to $40 per person, but you can also find cheaper or more expensive options depending on your taste and appetite. The cost of a car rental is approximately $80 per day. The estimated cost of a mid-level one-week vacation for 2 people will come to around $3,000, excluding airfare. This assumes staying at 3-star hotels, car rental for transportation, a combined restaurant and grocery meal plan, and allowance for sightseeing expenses. Some tips and hints for vacationing on Vancouver Island. First, plan ahead and research your itinerary. The island is large and has many attractions, so you might want to prioritize what you want to see and do. Second, pack accordingly for the weather and activities. The island has a mild climate year-round, but it can also be rainy and windy at times. You might want to bring layers of clothing, waterproof shoes, and a raincoat or umbrella. Third, be respectful of the environment and the wildlife. The island is rich in natural beauty and biodiversity, so you should try to minimize your impact and follow the rules and regulations of the parks and reserves. Vancouver Island is a wonderful place to visit for anyone who loves nature, culture, and adventure. You will surely have a memorable experience on this beautiful island. For our final destination, we are heading back east to Ottawa, Ontario. Ottawa is the capital city of Canada and is located in southeastern Ontario, at the confluence of the Ottawa River and the Rideau River. If you are looking for a vacation destination that offers culture, history, nature, and fun, you might want to consider Ottawa, Ontario. The city has many attractions and activities for visitors of all ages and interests. Some of the highlights of Ottawa include the Parliament Hill, where you can see the iconic buildings and monuments of the Canadian government, the Rideau Canal, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a popular spot for skating in the winter and boating in the summer, the Bywood Market, which is a lively area with shops, restaurants, bars, and street performers, and the Canadian Museum of History, which showcases the rich and diverse heritage of Canada and its people. Ottawa also has many parks, gardens, and trails for those who love nature and outdoor recreation. You can visit the Majors Hill Park, which offers scenic views of the city and the river. You can also enjoy the beauty and fragrance of the tulips at the Canadian Tulip Festival, which takes place every spring in Ottawa. You can also explore the Gatineau Park, which is a short skip across the Quebec border from Ottawa, and has over 200 kilometers of hiking and biking trails. Ottawa is a relatively affordable city to visit. You can find a range of accommodation options, from hotels and motels to bed and breakfasts and hostels. The average cost of a 3-star hotel room in Ottawa is about $180 per night, but you can also find cheaper or more luxurious options depending on your budget and preferences. You can also save money by using public transportation or renting a bike to get around the city. The average cost of a meal in Ottawa is between $30 to $70 per person, but you can also find cheaper or more expensive options depending on your taste and appetite. The estimated cost of a mid-level one-week vacation for 2 people will come to around $2,800 excluding airfare. This assumes staying at 3-star hotels, use of public transportation, a combined restaurant and grocery meal plan, and allowance for sightseeing expenses. Ottawa is a safe and friendly city, but there are some tips and hints that you should be aware of before you go. One is to check the weather forecast before you pack your clothes, as Ottawa can have extreme temperatures and weather conditions throughout the year. Another is to book your tickets and reservations in advance, especially if you want to visit popular attractions or events that might sell out quickly. A third is to learn some basic French phrases, as Ottawa is a bilingual city and some people might prefer to speak French rather than English. Ottawa is a great place to vacation to if you want to experience the best of Canada. It's a city that will surprise you with its charm and appeal. And that concludes our video on budget-friendly Canadian vacations. We've been coast to coast, across the second largest country in the world, and we hope you have gained some insights and travel ideas throughout the video. If you enjoyed watching, we ask that you click on the like button, and if you would like to stay up to date on new content as it becomes available, please subscribe to our channel. For the Travel Guru, we wish you all happy travels.